Welcome everyone to this episode of Discourse, where today we will be discussing Journey to Joy, From Spiritual Rigidity to Freedom, a Spiritual Autobiography. Start with a man motivated by fear, hemmed in by rules and regulations, knowing his obligations, but not aware of his feelings, with an eye strictly focused on an uncertain future of heavenly happiness. Where is this man really going, and where will he end up? Only when he questioned the rules, rebelled, and set off on his own path did he begin to become free enough to grow and become more fully human. Journey to Joy takes you on a walk with him on his spiritual path to freedom and joy. So like the synopsis says, this starts with his beginnings into the priesthood. We then follow him to Korea, where he's with other priests, right? He goes with like a group.
That's where he started to practice and learn and fully
immerse himself into the priesthood. But then he has a falling out for several different reasons, which we will discuss. He meets and finds his wife, they fall in love, and they end up starting a family. So I love how he kind of starts off the book, right? I feel like it's in a very positive note.
From the very beginning, very positive. You could tell he's open-minded. He's sharing his experiences, and I got like the feeling that I was talking to my own grandpa, or an older gentleman, just someone that's experienced a lot in life, giving me like not just his story, just to tell me a story, but like his life lessons. We all have the potential to live extraordinary lives of love, understanding that gives meaning to our lives.
Yeah, I definitely found this quote in particular to be pretty powerful. It seems to be nothing of extravagance, but I think that's kind of the beauty of it. Everyone has their own lives, right? And everyone's living their own path, but I think that finding your path and your true like love and joy in life is what gives meaning to everything, to anything that is.
Regardless, we all make an impact. We have our own destiny, and we all have the potential to be more than what we're just born.
Right. But also to ourselves, right? Like, you don't have to be Einstein. You don't have to be like someone so amazing. You just have to be your amazing self.
Yeah. Just because you're not born as one of them or become one of them doesn't mean you don't make an impact to someone's life or just in the world.
Right.
So, simple quote, but
so much meaning, yeah.
Really enjoyed that. So now we're going to jump into kind of like his falling out with the Catholic Church and the priesthood. And it was nothing very negative. Mainly he's just saying that they were stuck in their old ways, not changing with the ways of the world. And he started seeing that it was more of an institution, like a business. They weren't helping people to, help them get closer to God or this and that. They were just like meeting their quota, or how do we look out in the society. So he started, getting away from that. And a quote that I liked from the book was, "A deep fear of not doing so and ending up in hell for eternity was a strong motivating factor through my first 35 years. My parents, the church, and I myself used fear and guilt as motivating factors automatically. It wasn't a conscious decision, it was just the way it was." What I got out of it, because I grew up a Catholic too, and a lot of the things I was very quiet, and I didn't really speak out, because if I rebelled, if I did anything bad, I was going to hell. And I was like terrorized. I was scared of going to hell.
Terrified.
Terrorized. He terrorized me. Yeah, I was terrified of going to hell or just doing anything bad, that I would end up there. And that's how they get you. Like, you get so scared that you try not to act out. You just become like a puppet. And he saw it more like he was actually practicing. He knew the Bible and the book, so he saw a lot of the gray areas where it depended on the situation, that it's okay to do this, it's okay to do that, you're not going to hell. If that was the case, just walking down the street, you go to hell because you looked the wrong way and there was a woman, like, oh, that's a sin.
Right.
Or you thought about something that excited you, that's a sin.
Right.
So I like how he's very open, and he shares a lot of that. Like, it's okay to do things, like, if God is so merciful and this and that, like, he'll forgive you, like, you're fine.
Right. Yeah, I did enjoy that he's part of the older generation,
Mm-hmm.
but he's also more open-minded than most of the older generation, which I think is great because it shows that not just about the faith itself, because it can be very like rigid, like he says,
Yeah.
but I think taking the text, the context from the Bible, and really applying it not just with the times, like what's happening, but like in true, honest reality, right?
He does a good job with sharing his feedback on how he understands, that it's this way for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like times have changed. Like we're not marrying at 16 anymore. Like there's gay people. There's
Or there always have been. Like he mentions that man who was a priest.
Yeah, there was a priest who
Took 50 years for him
to come out.
To come out, to acknowledge, to tell everyone that
Mm-hmm.
he was gay.
Yeah, and he even talks about how when I guess the public found out, they would question him like, "When did you decide to be gay?" And he would always counter back like, "Well, when did you decide to be heterosexual?"
Yeah, so I love that he acknowledges it and he kind of goes about it in a really respectful way. I feel like he mentions towards even the end of the book where he's kind of summarizing, a lot of his thoughts and feelings about God and his faith, where he's even saying like we should be more open because God is open. He's forgiving and understanding.
Yeah,
like he's not gonna, he doesn't want anyone to suffer. He wants everyone to live a happy life. He wants everyone to have happiness and to find joy and meaning in their life. And I mean, he gives guides and things to help you on your way.
And another thing that I really liked is that he mentions that God gave us the free will and that freedom to make our own choices. Like, if that weren't the case, then yeah, it'll be black and white. So he shares a lot of that. He talks about his wife, which he really loves, the good, the bad, and just how they, work things out.
I absolutely love, I feel like a good portion of this book is almost like a love letter to his wife
Yeah.
and to his family. I just love it so much. I thought it was so cute. I
Yeah.
did. I loved it.
Yeah, at first I was like, where's he going with this? I thought he was going to talk about, like his journey to joy, like spiritually, but
She
I
is
guess
his joy. Hello.
Yes, that's what I was getting to. Yes.
Because aren't we all? That's
Just
right.
agree. But honestly, yeah, she played a big part. She supported him because I think she was the breadwinner, and he was
Finding his way.
finding his way in how he was raised. It was harder for him, like as an introvert. I think he mentions that. Hey, but
He figured it out.
yeah, and he impacted a lot of people, and he's very supportive. You can only accept the uncertainty and make the best decision you can, trusting that our merciful God will respect our conscience, our intentions, and the intelligence that he/she gave us.
So this goes back to what we were talking about, right? God gave us the consciousness to make up our own feelings, our own ways of going about our lives. I mean, if he wouldn't have done that,
then we'll just be puppets.
right?
What's the whole point of having our free will or free thinking and all that? That goes back to his talks about the gray areas. Like some situations could be bad in a certain situation, but another one is like, because he talks about abortion, like depending who you talk to, depending the timing, all that, it could be really horrible. You're killing a human. And another view, it's not born yet, but there's defects. It's not gonna be healthy. It's dangerous to the mother,
Yeah.
and you gotta make a decision. So he kind of talks about those gray areas, that there's uncertainties. As long as you really think through it, you think you make the best decision
For yourself.
then just go with it and don't worry about what he or whoever thinks. An ethical dilemma can be a great force for change and spiritual growth, but one must be open to change and have the ability to question one's own core beliefs. It is scary and far from easy.
Thanks for hanging out with us, guys, and make sure to check out Journey to Joy: From Spiritual Rigidity to Freedom, a Spiritual Autobiography by Ronald L. Rockhorst.